So 4 days ago, somebody tweeted this. Now, there are words in this that this individual is saying, and I'll show you the tweet so you know I'm not just trying to have an opportunity to say the words I want to say. But 4 days ago, this guy said, Kirk Franklin make that church look fun. I definitely would have been involved more if he was my youth pastor. He make it seem like you can be a church and a regular at the same time.
Oh, come on! That could bring you to a tear right now.
That right there.
That will bring a tear out of you. I saw it.
That right there summarizes what I want my legacy to be.
Today's guest, everyone, needs a proper introduction because he is this year's icon, by the way, at the BET Awards.
One of them.
He is someone whose music has not only moved us, but has healed us. He is a true icon, a storyteller, a spiritual warrior.
Oh my God.
He has spent decades redefining gospel music, breaking boundaries, opening hearts. His journey has not been perfect, but that's why we love you, because you are real, you are authentic, you live your life out loud for us to learn from and be inspired by in such an authentic way. That is why you are an icon who deserves to be honored, Mr. Franklin.
Well, honored to be here.
Oh,
Thank you for the green apple.
sometimes you got to just take a bite.
Hilarious.
Go. By the way, it's an opportunity for me to have a light statement.
Well, and it's also like you guys know about me with the apples, right?
For those who don't know, there was a little thing with the apples. Explain the apples.
Well, it's just funny. Like quite a few years ago, I just thought of something to be a part of my storytelling on socials, and I started. It's been a minute where I would have a green apple and I would talk and try to give a spiritual nugget or encouraging thought or something while eating the apple. And I did it so much that it kind of became a little thing.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to be connected to.
It's not a bad thing to be
Perfect
connected to.
fruit.
Yeah, it's healthy.
It's healthy.
It's
feels
quick.
good.
It's quick.
Clean.
You know what I'm saying? And it's cool to be able to kind of hold it and kind of,
It's alive.
it's swaggy. It's real
swaggy.
swaggy. It's real swaggy because you talk while you're holding it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can kind of do like that and kind of, So thank you.
How do you feel about being an icon, the word icon, the moments of when people take a moment? Because, we all are living our lives and trying to be in our purpose and hopefully doing things and contributing. But every now and then we stop for a second and we say, hey, man, good job. Or, hey, we appreciate you. Every now and then in our careers, if we're lucky enough, we're blessed enough, then people take a moment to look at your history and honor you. And what does that feel like for you?
It is very, it's very out of body. It is nuanced and complex, because, I come from a genre of music where you are wired as a pup to have the mindset and the consciousness of it ain't about you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're a vessel for God, and you shouldn't be getting all caught up in the worldly things. Like I was at home in the bed when I won my first Grammy.
You didn't go to the Grammys?
When I won my first Grammy, I was at home, but because a lot of the older school gospel artists around me were very much anti anything that looked like
Celebratory.
anything self-celebratory. They were very much, we're supposed to be doing it for him and for God. It's not supposed to be about us. And so I wanted to kind of model myself based on what I thought was okay. Well, if that's what they're doing, I need to be that way too.
Mhm.
And so it's only been a few years. It's only been maybe a decade, not close to a decade, that I've become very comfortable. Something after COVID switched for me.
What? Really? COVID
Yeah.
did it?
COVID switched.
What was the switch?
It was leading up to COVID.
But what's
But
the switch?
It's I think that when churches were closed
Oh.
and if I can be honest, when religion, not Christianity, not the teachings and the patterns of the life of Jesus, because see, Jesus was ill.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Jesus was dope. Jesus, but organized religion and Western Christianity can be problematic, right? Historically, it can be problematic for Black and brown people. But and so Western Christianity and Jesus, they are not synonymous. They're not.
No, of course.
Not at all. And so seeing church doors close and people try to find their way, and you being left on your own to kind of find your own journey,
Mhm.
to find your path, and it kind of came like another awakening, like another enlightenment. I think that it freed people from religion and from dogma. But I'm still not answering your question. Your question was about this award.
And then switch for you to be like, okay to receive an award and be honored in this way.
Yeah, but see, I don't even know if I'm okay with receiving an award, not from the religious standpoint. I just think that, oh man, Angie, it is the weirdest thing because it is my first interview that I've had about this like this. And then I'm here with you, so it's like I got to do a point because you're such a legend.
Oh, you stop it. Oh, pressure, please.
No, ma, no, you just you
always show me love. I
You
swear
one of
to you on
one.
the street, you stop.
You one of one. You one of one. You one of one. It's I think that when
That's very humbling.
oh no, ma'am, no, it's earned. It's that you think of like it just makes you wonder. But what do I do with that? Like what do I like? I'm not built to go. Ah,
I did great.
yeah,
relax.
yeah. It's very much.
Aren't I amazing?
I don't know what to do with it.
Can I share a story with you? I did I got inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. When was that? How many years ago was that?
2020.
Wow.
Oh, around COVID.
Wow.
Because I actually got the award was during COVID. But sometimes you have to like campaign for those things. I never cared about awards. I hate awards. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want it. I'm not humble. It's just that I got stuff to do. Like, and also like it just feels weird to me, kind of like it's done. But then I went to speak at a college, and it was a bunch of kids doing broadcasting, and they had a wall of the Radio Hall of Fame, and there was hardly any people of color and hardly any women on the wall. But I walked into class, and there was mad people of color, diverse room.
I get it.
And when I walked back out, I was like, oh, I need to be on that wall.
I get it.
So it's not for me to be on that wall. It's actually as representation, it's important for me to be on that wall.
Yeah.
So if I get an award or something like that, I kind of look at it that way. Like this is not just an award for me to go home and sit in my house and go, great. It's an opportunity for people to look at you and be like, oh, I could do that too.
Gotcha.
Oh, if I stay true to myself and I fight through demons and I'm honest about it, maybe I could have a moment of celebration too. It's just inspiring. So if you take that energy and put it outside, not that I'm trying to preach to you right now, it's just crazy.
I'm just crazy. Not crazy.
I'm just saying, it really is a different way to look at it. Instead of putting all the weight on you, like how do I feel about being honored?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for understanding.
I totally understand.
Thank you.
But you really truly are an icon. You don't feel like that?
No.
Really?
No, not even close.
What do you feel like?
I feel like I'm always a warrior. I always feel like I'm a soldier. I always feel like I'm an alien. I always feel like an alien. Yeah, man. I feel like an Amway salesman or like an Avon salesman in 2025.
What are you selling, Jesus?
Yeah, and then a lot of people buying. You know what I'm saying? So and I felt that way my whole career, because
it's so funny.
Yeah, man. It's because it ain't the sexiest. Yeah. It's not the sexiest idea. It's not the sexiest piece of information. It's not the sexiest bad bunches worse sexiest product. To be, religion has done a lot of damage. It's done a lot of damage in the country. There's so many, when you look at white nationalists and white nationalism, and you look at some of the movements of the evangelical community in politics, and you see how dirty things can be, and how
in the name of religion,
in the name of God.
That's it.
And so I'm here trying to say, well, everybody ain't like that. It ain't like that. And don't throw away stoplights just because there's some bad police. Stoplights still matter.
Do you feel discouraged?
I often feel discouraged. But I also have moments where I am blown away by the unbelievable kindness of God. I'm 55 years old, you dig? And and I'm sitting here.
Come on, muscles and good skin and
there are times in life. Where's my camera?
Come on, Frank, give him a bicep.
There are times that I want to go in that. No. Times I want to go in that direction.
And then God brings me.
But sometimes God brings me down.
Come on, 55.
And he said, go that way. That is ridiculous. Yeah. So I'm mad grateful.
That's funny. That's funny. There's a line in the new song you talk about when you say, "Dear God, you've been quiet.
It's at the end. You seem quiet
You
lately.
seem quietly." I don't know
Yeah.
why that hit my
Yeah.
soul so
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
because
It's so good. And excellent. What I say, it's so good to know you didn't forget about us.
you didn't forget about us. But
Yeah.
before you got to that, something about even you, because we look at what you do and you've for so long and your legacy. I assume you're always connected to God.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
as somebody, I try to stay connected to God, but
Mhm.
sometimes I feel disconnected. I have to work to get back connected.
And it is amazing that it's the assumption that I always do. And I think that it is that I've spent my life trying to debunk. I've spent my lifetime trying to deconstruct this Puritanism ideology that was birthed out of colonialism, of this perfect image of the stained glass windows of the holy of holies. Look, man, I'm a and and I'm every day dealing with you know every day, every day, and I need God because I know my junk. I look in the mirror and I know the real me, and it makes me so needy of someone bigger than me.
Mm.
So yeah, I've that has been my goal. It's like, yo, man, we got people really thinking that we be out here just happy all the time,
I think
walking through lilies, butt naked with the little butt naked angel. You know how they show the butt naked angels.
big holy and
Yeah. And why is every angel naked? I just want to know. When ain't angels, yeah, it's something like, where's in the Bible that the angel is naked? I mean, well, that's all another.
that's a whole other story for another day.
No, that's
Story for another day.
sorry for the ADHD.
But I say that knowing people, even I have friends who work whose life work is in faith, and I know they're not perfect. Nobody's
At
perfect. 'Cause nobody
all.
walking the earth is
At
perfect.
all.
So I
That
know that.
image we still have to continue to
Yeah.
debunk and deconstruct, and it can be fatiguing.
But I imagine also there's pressure on yourself. Maybe now that you're a little you've older, you've had some years in this, but I'd imagine at the beginning when you're like stop, it's like changing the world and everybody's like, this is gospel. And it breaks open to the masses, and now you're like this figure. Is there a moment where you feel the pressure to be this perfect person?
I still do it. Angie.
Or
Like,
even now?
yeah, like, I had to go to Jamaica last year, and I don't know if you saw my post about it. And I had some shorts on and a tank top, and I got ridiculed.
Because of the tank top.
But did the tank top and the shorts, and it was an
Were they
outdoor concert.
Were they short?
No, they weren't booty shorts. No,
What
they weren't.
do they call those? What are the dad shorts? The hoochie daddy shorts.
Hoochie Daddy. No, I didn't have Hoochie Daddy shorts on. They were just, I mean, it was just regular look that I had on. I had some Travis Scott's on, and I was doing a concert, but me having a tank top on, and, it became a problem. And, those things can be a little fatiguing,
Yeah,
but
I imagine.
yeah.
I imagine. But I would imagine early to a younger version of you,
A younger, well,
less secure in
yeah,
your
yeah.
purpose and you.
But the benefit of the younger Kirk,
What?
no social media.
Oh yeah.
See, social media gives everybody that microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Social media.
social media is what
Think to that.
it is always something. It's the necessary capital E word that we all are trying to maneuver with because it does a lot of good.
Do you think social media is evil?
I think that some humans have the capacity to possibly be evil.
And they use
Yeah,
mechanisms.
yeah. When you look at genocide and you look at racism and you look at child abuse and you look at spousal abuse, that's evil. It's evil. Weaponizing Christianity is evil. Weaponizing religion is evil.
Mm.
So humans, if not surrendered and not accountable, we have capacities, some of us, to be evil.
Mm.
And so it's not social media that's evil. It's the individuals that hearts are not pure and healed and whole and surrendered that
Yeah.
use that as a tool of evil.
I do agree with that, but I think also if you are not an evil person, but you're looking at evil stuff all day,
Yeah.
that is I think sometimes it makes people say and do things that they just gotta be mindful. I think,
I agree with that.
you know what I mean? I think you gotta be mindful because it's very easy to get sucked into something
Yeah.
that is not your true character. Sometimes even people I know, I'll see them post something or a comment that's made. I'm like, you would never say this to somebody's face. Or you would never. I don't know. I just think
Have a question.
sometimes it brings out bad in people. Yeah.
I have a question for you, and it's just a thought. I
Yeah.
don't know. Listening to you, if you don't mind me piggybacking on it.
No, please.
If they're scrolling, if these are good people and they're scrolling and they are intrigued by evil, maybe it does mean that that seed was already there and these things water it. It's because you and I can look at certain things and it doesn't, like somebody like me, somebody who as a young man who struggled with being very promiscuous, and as a young man, maybe struggle with pornography. There are just certain things that I just can't, be engaged in. There's just certain things that I just can't even invite. Is because as much as I love God, I still live in a broken vessel. And so I have to
But
be.
isn't everybody a broken vessel?
Everybody's a broken vessel. I'm just the one that'll yell at the loudest. I yell at the loudest because you know why I yell at the loudest, Queen?
Right.
I yell at the loudest because I heal as I reveal.
I love that quote.
Yeah,
I love
yeah. When you go to the doctor's office, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to ask, tell me what hurts. So you got to participate in your recovery. You got to participate in the healing. And so I want to be as whole as possible. So I'm always yelling about what's broken.
It's the blowback of, like, I remember you being honest about porn addiction and that whole thing. And so you do that and you reveal to heal, but then not only is your own healing going on, there's also a wave of church folk, opinionated folk, and all that stuff comes at you.
And it's very interesting.
How do you navigate that?
Well, it was a very interesting thing is because, when I got invited on the Oprah Winfrey Show, it was just very interesting that, and this was 20 years ago.
So there were no memes?
Yeah, no memes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would have been crazy.
Oh my God.
Is that I did accountability with the wife and the pastor and my whole team, and we were. See, the Oprah Winfrey people got the information from interviews that I was doing in Christian outlets. See, in Christian outlets, for somebody to say that they've gone through something and they see strength and victory in it, it's a testimony. What I found out and learned is that mainstream media is not built for testimony.
Oh, you're talking to my spirit, my soul right now.
It's not.
This is a battle that I struggle with. Because when I started this podcast, it was really initially as a testimony. My first podcast, I tell this story all the time, but I had a really bad accident. I've lost a lot of family members in a short period of time. And I wanted to share how to get to the other side of that, what it felt like. I just felt like there was a connection to be had. And I wanted to tell people stories for people out there. This wasn't a money play, this wasn't but it really was. But then you get into the business of it. And how clips are received and how you could have the greatest intention.
Yeah.
And somebody can take something that we say right now. Does not have the same intention.
Yeah.
And take a testimony.
Yeah.
And ruin it.
And that's evil.
I know. So what do? We still got to do testimonies, right? We can't.
We still have to do what we do in the midst of the reality that we live in an evil world.
I don't mean to make it sound like I do what you do, but
we do the same. Well,
that's very sweet.
We do the same thing, and again, that's something that I live to deconstruct. Is I think, for example, like Angie, I can be on a plane, and there are people, and I promise this. I put this on everything I love. This happens to you, boy. I can be on a plane, and people will get on the plane, and they'll see me, and they'll stare right from me, going, "Oh, we're going to be safe on this flight. This plane ain't going down because we got God on this plane." And I'm thinking, what makes you think Christians die in plane crashes? People really think.
You were the direct.
Yes. And so when you talk about what you do is different, then I know it ain't. Just because I talk about God don't mean you don't live for God.
Yeah.
And just because I talk about God don't mean that I'm closer to God than you are.
It doesn't? No, well, okay.
You've been funny. No, you've been serious.
No, okay. Maybe not in that way, but in a way where you have worked on your connection with him in a way that you could lead people. to him.
Yeah,
I believe it. You know, I could say it that way.
no,
No.
no. If somebody comes in here and says to you, Angie, I'm thinking about killing myself.
Oh,
I'm
God.
mad at God and I don't think that God loves me. Whatever you say to them is just as loving to God's heart, and he hears your words as beautiful as if I said the same thing to them and I pulled out a Bible and did it.
What would you say to them? I'm just curious.
First of all, I would hurt with them.
Mm.
I would tell them I'm so sorry and I know how it feels to be mad at God. And I don't know why God allows painful things to happen to good people. And I want you to know that you being angry at God, that's your right to. If he calls himself your father, you have every right to go to your father and tell him that you're pissed off, that you're angry,
Mm.
and that you're mad. If God is God, first of all, he ain't no punk, he ain't weak. If he's a daddy, he's there to hear even my angers and my frustrations at him. And if you choose to walk away, I want you to know that I hate that you have been that hurt, but I do want you to know if you ever want to come back,
Mm.
there's not a time that you can't come back. And your anger does not stop God's love for you.
Mm.
You can be angry and you can be hurt, and I'll pray for you. And I want you to know it does not make you a bad person
Mm.
to be upset and angry at God. It makes you human.
Have you ever been? I'm sure you have. You've said that. But I mean,
Every season of my life has come with a moment where I'm angry at God.
really?
But the problem is he somehow finds an incredible moment that I'm wired with love and grace that I can do nothing but respond in gratitude because he over indexes.
Mm.
Think about it. How many other 55-year-old mainstream or gospel or pop artists are you going to interview this weekend? 55.
Just you.
Maybe Mariah, maybe Jamie.
Okay.
But who? Think
A
about it.
handful, if that.
A handful
Yeah.
of almost 60 young girls going to come up in there and get the opportunity to interview with you.
I'll stop.
No cap. I'm just being candid.
You're very sweet. Mm.
And still look like this.
Come on now. Come on now, Mr. Franklin.
There's a pen in my hand.
I'm going to write.
I'm going to write. I love it. I'm going to write. I'm going to write with this pen.
Big gospel
That is hilarious.
with that.
Hilarious. I love it. I love it.
That's so good. How much do you think? There's so many places I want to go and talk about today.
You
Your
can,
career.
you can do it all.
But
I've been waiting to talk to you.
really, that makes me so happy. It really does. It really makes me happy.
She don't know.
Oh.
She don't know.
No, I don't take that for granted. No.
You don't know.
There's plenty of
who you
people
are.
who sit in that chair and just come because their
Please.
person told them to come.
Nah, you don't know. You don't know.
What do you mean?
Your culture.
Thank you.
Your culture personified.
Thank you.
Next question.
Okay. How much do you think?
Personified. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it correctly.
Thank you. How much do you think? Because there's always this conversation about like God's will
Yeah.
and our choices.
Yeah.
You know, it's free will, right? We have free will.
Let's see where you go. Let's see where you go.
I mean, just how much do you think what happens to us in our lives or where we are in our lives is actually God's doing versus personal choices? And yeah, that's it. That is the question. Like,
Let me explain to you
Good.
the greatest example of sovereign will and human will. Okay. My kids, they live in my home. They have the freedom to go into the kitchen anytime they want to. They have the freedom to go in the backyard. They have the freedom to, uh, lay on the bed. They even have the freedom, if I'm not watching, even jump on the bed. They have the freedom to, sit in the living room and watch TV. Right? They have freedom up under my roof. They have that freedom. In that freedom, there's still a sovereign freedom of that everything that they do still falls under the authority of my unspoken or my spoken presence, of the fact that everyone under the roof knows that they do not contribute to the bills. They do not contribute to the building of the house. So there is still a sovereign respect that they have for the roof and the fact that it's still my house. They have freedom in the house. Freedom. They don't have to ask me if they can get some water. Yeah, you can get some water. It's your house. but they know that they can't take a water hose and connect it to our house and try to water the whole neighborhood, because they understand, they naturally, instinctively understand. I don't have to say to them, you can't water everybody. They instinctively know. As humans, even in our will, there is an instinctive knowledge that God, there's a scripture in Romans that says that God has put eternity in the hearts of man. That's why every human knows there's something bigger than this. Every human. Now, they may call it different things in different parts of the world. The different religions may call it different things. But every human knows that if there's a watch, then there's a watchmaker. If there's a sky and a star, it seems like that just can be coincidental. And so we pursue those things. And so the things that happen in our life, even when we are believing that we are in charge, there is still this house that we live in that is owned by someone else. And even in our mistakes, God sovereignly uses them and will allow them. Everything in our lives, God either creates or God allows. And they all lead to the same defining moment, is that he's going to use it all, good, bad, and ugly, for our better. Look how many people's lives have been changed for the good that have gone to prison.
Yeah, redemption.
Yeah. And some people, there have been even people who said going to prison was the best thing that saved my life.
Yeah.
You would never think that.
Yeah.
So even in the bad,
Yeah.
there's a plan.
I always find that conversation interesting because, like, I've had friends who've had awful things in their lives. I know who lost their children. I have a friend who just lost her husband. And it's always the questioning of God's will. Is this
Yeah.
God's will
Yeah.
or is this just, I don't know, life? Or
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's a conversation that comes up, especially when you're in your lows, when you're in sorrow or when you're
Yeah.
at low points.
And
Yeah,
it is complex.
it is
And I don't expect for this conversation to solve the riddle that
I
we've
don't
all
want to
lived
come
in.
solve this thing. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have so much expectation of you.
I'm sorry. And I think that the biggest answer that we can give people that has the most healing, that sometimes people that are people of faith don't give, is, the greatest answer you can give people is some of the biggest life questions. I don't know. I don't know. And
That's when faith comes in.
yeah, it's because sometimes people of faith think they always have to have the answer. But then I can also say, but what I don't know doesn't cancel out what I do know. I'm adopted. My mom and daddy didn't want me. Nobody wanted me. I was an abandoned child. And I lived, even the woman that adopted me, she didn't adopt because she wanted me. She adopted me because there was really no other option. And I felt that absence of love even from her, that I was tolerated. I have lived a life full of trauma because I was never accepted. But I have seen God use that pain with this pen to write some of the most powerful songs that have touched people that I never could have written if I would have come from a beautiful home,
Perfect home.
from a beautiful place. So lemons and lemonade are all part of God's DNA for us. And he uses it and he does it beautifully. Why the house? I can't answer everything. But the things that I do know, I will share and I will experience and I'll tell people because they've been proven. I've seen it.
What is the key for that? Somebody who didn't experience love as a child, who felt that void. And I know it's to connect it to God, but there's probably people who miss that moment. Like eh, somebody who came up in the same circumstances as you, like, I know you credit that to God, but how do you get to God? Like, what is the thing in you that brought you to God? Did he find you? Did you was it just God or was there what did you was there therapy too? Was there
Great questions. These are great life questions.
I'm just
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah. No,
Is it just God or did you also have tools, things you had to do to kind of heal?
Well, healing can also be subjective, right? Is that sometimes you live with limps, so sometimes you have to adjust.
Live with the limp. That's good.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to win wounded. Yeah. You have to understand.
One thing he got is bars. Franklin's gonna give you is a bar.
I didn't know that. Thank you. No, I just think that the ingredients that God uses for every son and daughter are going to vary based on the ultimate plan he has for the long haul of their life, right? And so some people may not find their faith until their deathbed. But if that was God's plan, I gotta trust him. It's almost like I've got to trust God with you when I don't understand what he's doing with you. I gotta trust him. I have 4 children, and all 4 of my kids have had the same meal. I have an oldest son that I've had problems with. We've gone through many things, but he said
Publicly too.
publicly, yeah, he sat at the same table, had the same meal, but chose to digest differently.
Mm.
Why that happens, I don't know, because every child, I promise you, I was the same dude to every kid.
Mm. How are you as a father?
You know, I wish that probably, I, I regret that I did not have the best tools to learn how to be the type of husband and father that I probably have seen on TV,
Mm.
that I've watched other men and women have. That I was like, man, I wish I had that skill set. You know, I have a much natural skill set of doing what I do. Um, I I never saw a family until like, my wife's family was the first family I saw where the mother and father were home together and all that kind of stuff. It's like, that's crazy, you know?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, 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 and by this time, I'm in my 20s. So, my way of expressing love probably had a lot to do with just providing. I want you guys to have the best life, and let me try to provide. I mean, I'm a workaholic. I I work, and so, they say they love me. They say they're proud of me. They say they like being around me. And so that makes me feel good. I mean, they want to go to lunch. They want to go to dinner. They want to hang out. They always asking for the hookup. So I hope I make them proud
Oh.
with what I didn't have, what I didn't know.
Mhm.
Same for Tammy. I mean, sometimes I look at Tammy and I think, man, I wish that she could have had a more domestic Joe kind of guy. Hey, honey, I'm home.
Would she be happy though with
I
that?
don't know. I don't know,
How long
but
have you been married?
30 years in
Wow.
January, 30
God
years.
bless.
30 years. But music is a passion for me. Creating is a passion for
She
me.
has to share you with that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And she's an incredible woman for doing so. I just wish that, I I wish that I could have had a mom and daddy. I wish I could have seen somebody do it a certain way that I could have
Yeah.
known how to just be better at it.
You know what's interesting? I just this just came to me. I saw when LeBron was like talking about Savannah, how he wouldn't have had the career he had because he wouldn't have been able to have the family he had if she wasn't taking care of
Mhm,
those things while he was off
mhm.
chasing the moon, And so I
Yeah.
guess he was talking about that. I don't know. And then it started a conversation amongst me and my friends like, that's not an easy role for a woman to play.
Mm,
It's like the support role for
mhm,
someone who has this big star.
mm. Now, what's beautiful about this story is that they dated before he became that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, when I married Tammy, I was already,
Correct, right.
yeah.
That we know. Right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
True, true, true.
Yeah.
But by the time I got married, Why We Sing was a platinum album, and
I
you
was
know,
just listening to that, by the way. It's still it
yeah.
still hits my
Well,
heart
thank
the
you.
same way
Yeah.
today. Like in 2025, I was listening to it and I was having a little annoyance because something was not going right. And as soon as I put it on, it's like,
Wow.
it's like a calming,
Thank you. Thank you.
it just works every time.
Thank you.
Does it work for you?
It's a good question.
Mm.
I think I'm just always consumed with what's in front of me.
Mhm.
That that I don't get a chance to always relax in what is already on the
I
table.
think this season for you, you should open up to like smelling some of the flowers that you laid down. You know what I mean?
Oh no, Angie. Oh no.
So I'm not saying you don't have other things to do. I know you got
Oh
music and
no.
all this stuff, but like
Oh no.
you don't want to miss. You should
But
no. You don't give yourself permission to do that for a little bit.
here's the question. What if it isn't, and it's just a question.
Okay, shoot, give it to
I
me.
don't know. What if it's not meant for everyone to always
What?
silver and gold?
I just turned it over because I didn't want it to
That is
flash.
crazy. Silver and gold just start flying.
That's crazy. Okay.
That is
Right.
crazy.
And that's not even what I was listening to before.
That's Crazy.
That's not what I was listening to.
That's bananas. Wow. What if it's not for everybody?
Silver and gold. Maybe you need to hear.
Yeah, but the song says though.
No,
Yeah, I know. I'd rather have Jesus first. So I'm like, keep
you don't
keep
want
the fame and fortune.
Maybe he's co-signing your point.
Maybe so.
He's co-signing your point.
Maybe it's co-signing my point. And I love how y'all just keep rolling in the middle of everything. I love this kind of show. Let's see that this is my kind of show.
It's a real show. We try to keep it real.
It's my kind
real life. You know, that's the name of the show. Is real life.
This is my kind of show right there.
Real life ain't everything. Ain't no pretty.
Yeah, I love it.
Perfect.
I love
Tablecloth's crooked.
that. Is crazy how Silver and Gold came on. Maybe just to a friend. Yeah, yeah. And I, but I'm going to mess with you. It does co-sign how I'm wired. Like for me, I do prefer keeping my eyes there instead of the basking in here. I do.
No, I get it.
I do.
I'm giving you advice that I don't heed. I hate looking back at accolades and moments. I like, what am I gonna do next?
See?
Yesterday is
So you get it.
I do get it. I do get it. But
And you're trying to get me over here. See?
well, because I think also life is short and we work hard, and I think it's just time. It's like a birthday party sometimes. Like you have a birthday party because you're happy to be alive and you're grateful for another year.
And I don't look for because I
You
was
don't do birthday party.
I was a kid that didn't have birthday parties coming up. So they don't mean, and you know, maybe that's what some of it is too, is that I didn't grow up being celebrated. So I'm okay. I'm just naturally wired to not,
Be celebrated.
yeah, but I'm okay. I am okay. I am okay. I'm okay. See, I'm okay with my deficiencies, Angie. I am.
I love that about you.
It's because I see how they're used. Because when I walk into a room and talk, I'm not going to be the pretty Christian. I'm going to talk. I'm going to slip and say words I shouldn't say. I'm going to do things I shouldn't do. It's because I don't have that life.
You know, it's so interesting. I look at an artist like, if you didn't start your career as a gospel artist, but let's say you were a rapper first. Like I look at somebody like DMX, right?
Yeah.
DMX talk about God every conversation.
No
He'll
doubt.
say a prayer at the concert.
Yeah.
Nobody expected DMX to be perfect
Nobody.
because they knew the package that he was. And the problem for you, sir,
I get it.
is you came in the gate
Yeah.
in gospel, so
Yeah.
you didn't get the grace
Yes.
that like a DMX
You better
was
preach, man.
giving the same. Yeah,
You better preach that. And I think by nature as humans, that's hypocritical.
yes, for sure. Of course,
It's because when you look, and I know you know this, when you look at these people in the Bible, they were some really, really crazy, messed up people.
they were
Liars, whoremongers, adulterers, thieves, killers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody that we celebrate. Moses killed the dude.
Yeah.
David had his side chick's husband killed. David had his side chick's husband killed.
That's
and the
right.
Bible calls him a man after God's own heart. You know what I'm saying? Paul, the dude that wrote the majority of the New Testament, said, yo, man, a lot of the stuff I'm writing, I can't even keep it up. And I can't even do the good I'm telling y'all to do. I struggle with doing bad myself in his letter to the Romans. So it's almost like we as Christians read all of these people in the Bible that have all these problems, but when we see a real one in real life, we crucify them. It's crazy to me. I wish I could have lived like DMX. So that when
you would have started as
so when my mixtape came out, then my son dropped, they would have been like, "Oh, Kirk got a new album out."
They wouldn't have expected that.
Kirk got a record out. That's crazy work. That is crazy work.
I know you don't like celebrating yourself, but since we are talking about your icon status and this part of your career, what are you? Let's just say this: you don't have to celebrate, but what are you most proud of in your career?
What I'm most proud of my career probably is my children.
That's not your career. That's your children.
So I can't get away with that.
No, sorry.
You ain't gonna let me do that.
No. Of course you're most proud of your children.
I think that probably what I'm most proud of is that I never, ever, ever compromised my lyrical content. That whenever I pulled up on a record, or ever there's something people that have any ambiguity, It's like, okay, what is he talking about? Is he being slick? Is it really a woman? Is it relationship? No, it's like you knew Kirk was always talking about God. He was going to say Jesus. He was going to, like there was never a time in any of these records. I mean, Stone, looking for you, I smile, remember, it's like every song, whether they crossed over or not, you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You never had to question the lyrical message.
Mm.
That makes me proud.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me proud, man. That I pursue such excellent production and musical art that I was able to say things that are not always the most culturally acceptable is because you could not deny.
How old were you when you found this gift?
Oh man, when I first started hearing that it was a gift, about 5, 4, 5, 6,
What was it?
7.
What was the moment?
Well, just the response. People were always responding to me in really big ways.
So you're 5 years old and you're what? You're preaching?
No, I'm playing the piano. I'm playing the
What are you
piano.
singing about?
I'm taking songs like I'm taking Elton John's "Been in the Jets," and
Ooh.
and I'm
I just watched Rocket
and
Man on the plane.
and I'm remixing it for the youth choir, and it goes, "He's coming back. I know he's coming back. I know that Jesus he is coming. Bum 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 bum. He said that he is coming back." Dun, dun. And the kids in church going, like
5.
6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Look, that was 1977. So I was like 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So at a young age, I was getting attention.
Mm.
And that attention was like, this is interesting.
Felt like love to you.
But it's the most unhealthiest form of love.
Why?
Because you learn how to be a human doing and never a human being.
Mm. Mm. You want to come up in here with some bars today? Yeah, but if you have to be serving some type of ego kind of, or not ego, but self-serving thing, at least you're off, even if it's that, even at worst, right? It is like if it's self-serving in a way where you're like trying to do things because it makes you feel good. It's like you're still serving. People are still receiving something good out of it. So how bad could that be?
Because you live forever the hamster on the wheel.
Uh-huh.
You never get off that wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's because one hit of that type of drug,
Mm-hmm.
the love of the people that don't know you, people that are not going to accept you when your breath stink, people that are going to criticize the next record if it ain't good. See, that type of love is volatile.
Mm-hmm.
It's very volatile.
Mm-hmm.
It is only transactional when they're getting something from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you lean into wanting that type of love, you're always having to perform to get it.
So when was the first time you got true love? Was it your wife?
I'm quite sure my wife, and there have been probably other, like I say all the time, I had a history of having really good people in my life. My wife is amazing, beautiful. But my wife was not the first nice girl I dated, the nice sweetest girl that I was.
But your wife wants to believe.
Yeah, but I can't say that about men she's dated. I'm quite sure that I am quite sure that Tammy has dealt with my crazy behind, and she's probably thought, I probably should have stayed with Rick and Earl. So I have had probably moments where people wanted to show me real love. I just didn't know how to respond to it. And even still now, I still, there's this thing that I've learned in therapy called attachment disorder. Have you heard of it?
No, well, I've heard the word, but I don't really know what
I'll give it to you real quick.
Yeah.
When a child is in those formative years from 1 to 6, a child, especially a little boy, should be able to let the breast of his mother and connect to the breast of his mother and be able to connect. When a child does not get a chance to be at the breast of his mother, he never grows up being attached to anything.
Oof.
The difference between aborted children and adopted children is adopted children get to live to know that they were not.
Oh, that makes me sad.
But it's real. Think about it.
But you were chosen by somebody.
A lot of times foster kids can be tolerated.
It's different.
It's different.
Mhm.
It's different.
Mhm.
And the sweet lady that adopted me, I knew instinctively because of age difference. Think about it. She adopted me at 64. I was 4 years old. So by the time she's 70, I'm 10. Well, she's not taking me to the park. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're not going to the movies. We're not. I mean, she didn't do anything because of her age. She went to church and the grocery store. So I had to create life on my own. That was painful. It was lonely. Let me answer.
Oh, she loves you. You know, that is Thea from iHeart.
Now, I don't know why you would be interrupting my interview. You don't know who this is, woman?
Why does the voice sound so familiar?
Okay, let me keep talking. And if I keep talking, I'm going to give you one more chance to figure out who I am.
Is this Kirk Franklin?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God! I love you. I love you.
I love you too, Queen. And we're in the middle of.
Oh my God! I love you.
We're in the middle of an interview.
I'm sorry.
And your phone rang, but you know we only answered because it was you.
I feel so blessed. Okay,
tell me you love me one more time. Tell me you love me one more time.
I love you. You have no idea.
Why am I blushing?
You better be careful.
In fact, normally I would leave the BET Awards a little bit early, but I hear you're closing the show, so now I gotta stay there a whole 4 hours.
I told you she loved you.
Now I have anxiety. Love you, Queen.
Well, love you too.
I'll call you back soon as
Angie.
I'll call you when we're done.
Bye.
Okay, all right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. That was so good. I don't know why it rang. It was off all day. That is so great. Are you shutting my thing off? That's amazing.
I think I am.
I knew she loved you. Talking.
That was fun.
You loved out here.
That was fun.
She knew it was you. That's so funny. What were we talking about before Thea interrupted us?
I don't know, but it was good. It's been good.
The attachment disorder. How do you explain being able, because marriage is hard.
Yeah.
How did you become the man that could sustain and keep a woman and keep a marriage intact for 30 years? Like, how did you learn how to do that? What was the pivot? What was the thing?
Well, if I can be very candid,
Yes, please.
my career allowed me to often sometimes hide my deficiencies because I was always busy and always gone. And Tam and I got married with kids already. Remember, I had a son before I met her. She had a daughter before she met me. I adopted her daughter. So we always had. And so I've been able to, let's just say that God lovingly covered my deficiencies. Just the things I didn't have and didn't know. He just loved me enough where he covered me and just gave me grace. And I'm very grateful that he did. Because, you're not, no man is proud of his weaknesses. No man is proud of his deficiencies, things that he may not be naturally good when he wants to be. Imagine, spending the whole summer with Jordan learning how to shoot threes and you never can still shoot threes, or me trying to learn how to dunk with Shaquille, but because I'm 5'4", I never possessed the capacity of ever playing with big guys. So a lot of times growing up and all these traumatic things in your life, you'd be surprised at how when you get on the court and you try to play the games, it can be really depressing when you see how other guys pull up and it's so easy for them.
For them, yeah. Okay, I'm going to phrase that question differently for you now that I'm getting to know you better. What have you done right as a husband?
I hope that what I've done right as a husband is I've tried to lead with my honesty. And I've tried to find ways that I've tried to lean in the areas that I found out there were strengths and things that they loved. Things that they loved, I really tried to lean in. Like, I'm the life of the party.
No.
and they would praise me, I believe, for being a provider. Like my kids and my wife have never had to want to worry about a roof over their head. They've never had to worry. I'm proud, my kids graduated from college with no debt. Tammy can go anywhere she wants to at any time, and she knows I got a husband that'll never tell me no. I ain't never told my wife no to nothing. Whatever she wants, whatever. And I know that the tangible things may not mean a lot to the people, but for me, I found that this is the way I can make people smile. So it's like I like to give them. I'm a giver. And I like to do and I like to give. And when I see the smiles on their face, it just makes me want to lean in more.
But you said something, you said it kind of like just like it was a small thing. But leading with honesty in your marriage
Mhm.
is not a small thing.
Mm.
It is a void in a lot of marriages, as
Wow.
well as the fall and the
Wow.
I think the disintegration of a lot of marriages is
Wow.
that they don't lead with honesty. Is that they're hiding things, they have
Mm.
living double lives, different. Just I think leading with honesty is not a small thing. It's probably something if you ever live in that with your wife, you should probably be proud of.
Well, and then, I also want to always say also, Tammy is an amazing human.
Mm.
She's an amazing human. Tammy would be an incredible human without me. You know what I'm saying? Like she's just an amazing, and
You chose well.
I leveled up, and she has everything great about our children. It's Tammy, and my children are amazing humans. Stay my own.
No,
Stay my own.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. 30 years is no joke. No joke. Tammy, we gotta get Tammy in the chair. Tammy's gonna say why you're a good husband. You don't need to take credit for a lot of things I see. You have a real hard time with that.
Probably so.
Yeah, no, definitely so. We had Sarah Jakes on the show. And
She's dope.
have you spent time with her?
Mm-hmm.
She's so dope and fly and like
Yeah.
and not afraid to admit that she ain't perfect.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
has some challenges in her life. And,
Oh no, she's good people.
but she talks about that burden of being the, pastor's daughter.
Yeah.
And at first not wanting to lean into that because of the pressure and the
Yeah.
expectations. You talked about it a little bit, but I'm just curious for you, was there a moment in your career, a moment in your life where the weight of l- living up to what you've created became too much for you? Or
Every
that,
day.
still now,
Oh
yes.
yes. I've been consistent. I have been a consistent patient in therapy since I was in my late 20s. Yeah. I'm a Christian that prays and sees a therapist.
I know. It's so interesting to me.
Oh yeah, man. I
What do you credit therapy? What do you credit to therapy? Like fixing? What has therapy fixed in you?
What therapy has done for me, it has helped give language to the why.
Language is good.
It has given language to the why. Why am I like this? Why do I process like this? Why am I deficient like this? Why am I not the best at this? And it's also allowed me to give also language to Tammy.
So she could help understand you.
So she can, but the beautiful thing is, a lot of it she already knew. She already saw, Tammy's married to an uber creative. Angie, I'm an uber creative.
Oh, I know. I already know.
Angie, I'll get out of the bed butt naked and sit on the piano at 3:00 in the morning or somewhere. If you come over to my house, don't sit on that bench. Don't sit on that piano bench. I promise you.
You really are DMX. Dude, you really have DMX things about me that I've heard.
Do not sit on that piano bench you had in my house. Because there ain't been nothing but
You got another side to you.
cheeks.
You got another side to
It's
you.
been just cheeks on it.
And what does your wife do when she wakes up and you butt naked on the bench?
Just go back to sleep.
Because it's just another day.
It's just another day.
Yeah.
Taylor Franklin.
That's so funny.
And again, man, I do want to reiterate though, Angie, I am far from perfect.
I get it.
Far from perfect. I'm not the perfect.
Are you battling something right now?
No, I just love the honesty of what Christianity, I think, has done to people. I think that we have done more at keeping people away than bringing them in. And sometimes all we have to say to them is, "Me too." Do you know how many people feel so guilty and unworthy?
Oh my God. By the way,
Now you feel where I'm going though. Do you feel where I'm going
Oh,
though?
listen to me. I was raised by a mother who went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school till the 3rd grade. And it was an ongoing conversation about guilt. Guilt for everything.
See?
It's like the Catholic, it's a term.
Yeah.
Catholic guilt is a real thing.
It is a real thing, yeah.
And that absolutely can push people out.
Yes.
And I totally understand.
Yeah, that's what it is, and see, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the future because think about it, you want to talk about legacy or something like that. I spent my whole life trying to do music to tell people about how dope God is, right? And now I see a climate in society where people are not pursuing and thinking about God like they used to.
Mhm.
That concerns me. It's like
Yes.
I spent my life trying to help
You called yourself the salesman? What was the
an Avon salesman.
Avon?
Avon salesman.
Amway.
Yeah, Amway salesman. You remember Amway?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, when's the last time you know somebody bought some Amway?
No.
That's my point. So it's almost like, okay, what are some of the things that we're contributing to that's causing people not want to buy the Amway no more?
You like an encyclopedia salesman, and they don't even need encyclopedias because they got the internet, so they think they don't need the encyclopedia.
Showing up to the crib with the big you remember the suitcases they would carry? It would be horrible.
What would your pitch be?
My pitch is this.
Give me the pitch so that they know.
Not Amway.
God pitch.
Here's the God pitch. Here's the God pitch. Man, I want to say to you that I am so sorry for the hypocrisy and the manipulation that you and I both know that we've seen that have been done to people in this country and has been weaponized with Christianity. I want to let you know that that's messed up. Whatever colloquialism you want to use for messed up, I'm going to I'm going to say I'm going to say amen to it. And I want to let you know that if you're going through a moment in your life right now and you've tried so many different things, drugs, sex, whatever you wanted to try, and you still feel empty, I want to let you know that religion can't fix that. Christians can't fix that because none of us are perfect in that space. Matter of fact, bro, let me tell you, I'm not perfect. Let me tell you what I just did the other day. Let me tell you, I just messed up the other day. Really? You? My God. God's songwriter, my boy. I just messed up. And I want to let you know that I have found that there is a love that I can't mess up too much from that won't love me the same way. And I'm here to tell you that if you think about it and you want to chop it up some more, that same love is available to you too, bro. I'm telling you, and I'll be right here to let you know every problem that I've ever had that I've seen that love come fix. Give it a chance. You ain't got to go to church. You ain't got to wear no suit and tie. You ain't got to give no money. All you got to do is be you. Because that's what God wants. He wants the real authentic you. Don't be like them. Be like him.
That's all you got to do?
That's all you got to do. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because as a Christian, that's why Jesus came. Because Jesus did the rest. He did the hard work so you can house, so you can all you got to do is accept and say yes. And if you jack up tomorrow, you got a father, he's like, Pops, I jacked up. And guess what? You back in the, you back, you ain't got to say 17 prayers. You ain't got to pray to that a saint. You ain't got to do this ritual. Nah, all that was done by Jesus. Jesus did that. Jesus did that. He did that for you. You can chill now. All you got to do is acknowledge that Jesus did it, appreciate him, show him love. And you got to appreciate him by giving him some bread. You know how you appreciate it? By the next person you meet, tell them the same story. And get them to know that they can come to.
The word, share the word.
Share the word and pull up. Imperfect.
Yeah.
How did I do?
That was pretty good.
Would you buy it?
I would consider. I would strongly consider. I mean, you're preaching.
Then there's hope.
You're preaching to the converted already.
Then there's hope done. Yeah. And some you have to give more historical context. You have to give, maybe.
What about prayer?
What about it?
How important is that? How important is prayer in the scheme of your relationship with God?
It is very important, first of all, to deconstruct what most people think prayer is.
What is prayer?
Prayer is an ongoing, natural conversation between you and your Creator. That's what prayer is. At the stoplight, on the toilet, at the crib.
The toilet.
My God, on the toilet.
You know what's so funny? Sometimes I'll be saying a prayer and I'll be like, I can't. This is disrespectful. I'm sitting.
That's what we got. But that's why we got to deconstruct this thing. Yeah, it's because everybody has made it so otherworldly when it was supposed to be like drinking and breathing. Your relationship with Christ and with God should be like oxygen. It's just flowing from you. You never see an apple tree having to strive to make apples. All you got to do is stay connected to the branch. If you stay connected to the branch, you're going to automatically make apples. That's what it's supposed to be.
And how do you stay connected to the branch?
By staying connected. Hey, man, just want to talk to you this morning, Pop. Thank you for another day. I don't know what today holds, but, let's spend some time talking today. Love you. Be with me. I want to, and throughout the day, you get that little knock. You know what I'm saying? We all get the little knock.
Of course.
We just choose not to open the door.
Yeah.
And when you get the knock, you know what, Lord, you want to say thank you. Or get the knock, thank you for telling me to buy so-and-so's lunch. Yeah. That was
I felt
good.
good.
Look. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Respond to that. You know what? Thank you for telling me to apologize. Cause I sure am gonna send it to her because she be getting on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? you know, those are the things.
That's
Those are
good.
the things.
That's really good. Now she be
She be getting on my nerves. She be getting on my nerves. You know.
What? Got some in real life questions for you. Are you ready, sir?
Uh-oh.
No, these are very easy.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you in real life right now?
That's a good. It depends on what I'm doing.
No, right now.
Right now with you,
Yeah.
I'm happy here.
Give me a number.
10.
Woo!
10.
Where do you operate normally, if you had to say? What's your number? Like on average.
Oh, it can go from 10 to 2.
Really?
It just
It's
depends.
a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
What takes you down?
Something. It can be, tragedies in life. It can be bull I see on TV. It can be bad news. It can be something happened with a family member. Just life. Life can be, but then life can also give me a 10.
So you bouncing around out here.
I'm an artist. Hey, enough said, right?
Yeah, enough said. In real life, what do you pray for most?
I pray most for the gratitude of his acceptance of me in light of him knowing all my imperfections.
Mhm.
I'm blown away by the incredible grace that he gives me in the midst of the imperfect space that I exist in as a man.
Mm. Your bars are so strong. What was the last time in your life that you cried from gratitude?
Last Wednesday.
Really?
Last Wednesday.
What happened?
I was just sitting in the car and I was listening to one of my favorite preachers. His name is Charles Stanley. He's dead. And I was listening to an old sermon that he was talking about grace and about how we cannot out sin grace. That there's a scripture in the Bible that says that where sin increased, grace increased even more. Man, bro, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that there's nothing that as a human we will ever do that will make God turn his back on us? Do you know how much relief and that stress that takes off of you to know that there is nothing that you can ever do that can make you run out of God's love for you? Bro, you can sleep at night. You can sleep at night. And I was sitting in the parking lot of my my dermatologist. The parking lot of my dermatologist.
Of course you haven't done
Yeah.
it. You think this happens without a little help?
I had an ingrown hair and it turned to a little bump. And I was having to shoot it real quick. And I was finishing up that sermon. And I was sitting on the parking lot crying, just thinking.
By yourself?
Just grateful for grace.
That's good. I'm motivated today. How important is money to you?
Money is important. Money is important. It's very important.
You said that you enjoy giving things and
Yes.
providing.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's important to get the message out. It's important to do things for people. It's important to be able to understand its value. It's because if you don't understand its value, then you can't be trusted with it.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's very important.
You're gonna hate this question.
Come on, give it to me.
It's a simple question. No, it's a really simple question.
Okay.
It's just, what do you think your legacy will be? Do you think about your legacy
More.
now?
More.
And
I hope, and instead of thinking, okay, if I say hope,
sure.
I hope my legacy will be. Somebody tweeted something, and I will
Pull it
say.
up. We have time.
So 4 days ago, somebody tweeted this.
Okay.
Now, there are words in this that this individual is saying, and I'll show you the tweet so you know I'm not just trying to have an opportunity to say the words I want to say. But 4 days ago, this guy said, Kirk Franklin make that church look fun. I definitely would have been involved more if he was my youth pastor. He make it seem like you can be a church and a regular at the same time.
Oh, come on! Yeah.
That could bring you to a tear right now.
That right there,
That will bring a tear out of you. I saw it.
that right there summarizes what I want my legacy to be.
Mm.
That right there.
Did you reply to his post?
You know what? I did not need to.
At least put a heart on it. At least a heart.
Well, is I took the snapshot of it, so I'll have to go back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you only have the snapshot.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should go back. You should
Yeah.
comment on that. It probably change his life.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Can you show my old behind how to do it?
Yeah, we're gonna show you.
Yeah. Show the senior citizen.
But look at that, how nice that is. So he doesn't even know that you in your phone have a
You
screenshot.
say his name, so if he watches this, he can
Okay,
get the,
say his name. Let's give it.
it's his name is Ed Money Power SP.
Of course, it's money, power, SP.
Yeah, what does SP mean?
I don't know what SP means, but
Okay,
money, power, respect. I don't know. Like
that's
I don't-
probably what it is. Yeah, Keezy at Money Power SP. Kirk Franklin make that look fun. I definitely would have been involved more if he was my youth pastor. He make it seem like you can be a church and a regular at the same time.
Oh, poetry. Come on, poetry.
Bro,
That touched your heart.
you see, I caught him like,
Okay, look at that. When we just came back to that full circle moment, because we were talking about social media before and how evil it is.
yeah,
But look at how that's
Yeah.
there too. The connection with real connection.
yeah,
So he was connected by you. I felt connected to you and posted that.
yeah.
You were so touched by it that you
Yeah.
took a photo of it
Yes.
and kept it in your phone. He don't even know what he
Yeah.
put on the so like. So it
Yes.
just is it's a nice.
It's a beautiful
It's
thing.
a beautiful thing to see that
It's a beautiful thing.
there can be goodness. in
It's a
there.
beautiful thing.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That was
Thank
worth getting your phone for.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, my last two questions,
What you
sir.
got for me?
In our real life, how important and what have you learned about forgiveness? I know I've heard you talk about. Oh, go ahead.
I've learned that forgiveness is free, but trust is earned.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not synonymous.
Mm-hmm. You've had to forgive a lot in your life, yeah?
Forgive, but that forgetting is the monster.
Mm-hmm.
It's the monster. It is the monster. And it is a process. And I think that people should not be demonized just because the process may be long for them. And it's okay for you if the process is not as quick as others. Don't let the person that is needing the forgiveness to try to rush you at a speed that you're not ready for.
Mm-hmm. You give it when you have it. Yeah.
You give them, you have it.
Yeah. But I know you went through this thing with your father where you were like connected with him. Was there forgiveness in that too?
Oh, well, he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
This was a few years ago that most of my life, because I was adopted, the man I thought was my father, he died in 2017. He was never in my life. 2 years ago, we just found out that there was another man that was really my father, but he didn't know.
Oh, so it wasn't a choice that he made. It just
He
did
didn't
not
know. He didn't know.
Wow.
He didn't know. And he's a good dude.
Mm.
But the problem is I find with him the same thing I find at home as a husband and father. It's hard to connect.
Mm.
And he's done it, and he wants it. Like if he could, he'd put me on his lap.
And you're like, sir.
He's like, bro, I can't get on your lap. Pause. You know, I can't get,
Just met you.
yeah, just met you. Pause. I can't get on your lap, bro. So, and me, that connecting thing is difficult for me.
Did it free you of anything? Did it give you any peace or any type of?
If anything, I think it made things a little more complex because it put me back in touch with my biological mother. I hadn't been in touch with her for 23 years. She still denies it. Even with 2 DNA tests, she still denies that this man is my father. So, that's painful. So, it kind of opened up wounds that I didn't really want to have open back up. And I'm trying to process it. And now I have this new individual in my life who's a great guy. I just war a lot of times with connection. I do.
That's so weird because you connect with people all over the world.
It's through the thing that loved me first.
Mm.
Music.
Mm-hmm.
Music was the first thing that told me it loved me. So that's what I know. That's my language.
Mm.
And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that because this man or whether Tammy, my kids or, grandkids or they're just whatever, I wish that I could feel what other people feel. I do. And I hate that it's almost like a ceiling, Angie. It's like a ceiling. And I've been in therapy and prayer for many years. And so
Have you made progress?
sometimes I think I have but then sometimes I wonder
You are a man who was sitting in the parking lot at the dermatologist in tears,
about grace over my life.
but not in connection with someone else.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Over my life.
Could you not be brought to tears by, I don't know, Tammy telling you how much she loves you, or or one of your kids? It won't bring you to tears.
Not like that.
Oh my goodness, that's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's hurtful, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
it makes you feel less it makes you feel less of a human.
Oof.
It does. It can make you feel less of a human.
How does someone watching this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's not good, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does someone watching this stop that from happening? Maybe somebody who's hasn't been as hurt or has felt that as deeply as you, like a father. How does somebody break that cycle?
Love your children.
Mm.
Love your children and be honest with your children. Be honest with your children. I think that people around you give you grace when you are truthful, when you're just honest about what you don't have.
Mhm.
Like I remember saying something to one of my youngest sons because he was getting married. And I shared some very honest things with him about my deficiencies. And I said to him, I said, are you doing this because you feel pressured by the church? Are you feeling like this because you feel like you got to because in the church, a lot of people get married because they don't want to live in sin.
Mhm.
And so, like that was part of my culture. That was part of my church culture. You get married because you don't want to be living in fornication and sin. And so, a lot of people brought from being fornicators and ended up becoming adulterers because they were not ready to really do it without all of that into place. You should marry just for love. You shouldn't marry because you think this is how I get right with God. That's manipulation. And that's what a lot of times religion can do to people. It can manipulate them into things. And so I said to him, I said, why? Why do you want to get married? I needed to look at him in the face because I needed to know he felt no pressure. And his answers were so beautiful. It's so honest. I was like, oh, he's ready. And he's ready the right way. My youngest son, I would give anything to be like him.
You admire him. Is it because of his ability to love?
Just who he is. He's just an amazing human.
Mm.
He is his mother's son.
That's beautiful.
He is.
I could sit here and talk to you, by the way, for
Wow.
the rest of the day.
Wow. So could I. It's been great. And then I'm just a fan, so that makes it so super dope.
It's so nice.
We got people calling, we talking to people, and
It's a good day, right?
it's a good day.
I mean, you've been on this road since 5 years old, making music and talking to God, right? What do you know about God now? In this moment, this icon, you're an icon, and this many years in the game. What do you know about God now that you didn't know when you were starting your career or starting this role?
I wish I would have known starting then that I've learned now is that he won't give up on me. When you have had abandonment issues and rejection issues, you a lot of times transfer that even in your faith, and you do a lot of stuff out of fear. And the fact of looking at my life now at 55 and all the ups and downs I know I've taken God through, and the fact that that I have found that he won't give up. That the story of faith in its purest form is this. God made man. Man rejected God. And God won't stop chasing man until he wins it back. That's the story of faith. That's the story of Kirk. That he never stopped chasing. That brings me to tears because that is in its purest form love. Yeah.
Thank you for today.
Thank you.
What a special conversation.
Tears, bro.
He's an icon. I don't care what he says. Kirk Franklin!
Yeah.